Hello everyone, I'm JG and welcome back to Music Forever, where today I'm going to be doing a review for this new Grinch-related Tyler the Creator EP that's supposed to be released in relation to this new upcoming Grinch movie, or maybe it's already out, I'm not 100% sure. Doesn't really matter for this EP that we're going to be talking about here today, and I wasn't really sure what to expect from this EP, to be completely honest. When it comes to Tyler the Creator and his music, I really loved his last album, Flower Boy, that he dropped last year, one of my favorites of last year, and still an album that I find myself returning to a whole lot this year as well. His works prior to that, I would consider myself a general fan, I guess you could say, though I wouldn't say I'm crazy about any of them in particular. And when it comes down to Christmas music, I believe I've mentioned this maybe a couple times on the channel before, but I wouldn't consider myself a big fan of Christmas music overall. I like Christmas, I like the season itself, I like a lot of what goes on in the season itself, you know, Christmas movies, stuff like that, just the overall atmosphere of the holiday I find myself enjoying, but Christmas music just doesn't really do anything for me, which is kind of odd considering, like I said, I like the holiday itself and a lot of what, you know, is involved with the holiday, and I like music a whole lot, so it should make sense that I like Christmas music, but I just don't, honestly. I just can't stand most Christmas music. So, with this EP here, obviously, it is Christmas themed as it relates to The Grinch, and of course the classic Dr. Seuss story of how the Grinch stole Christmas. Now, that's personally one of my favorite Christmas-related tales. The Grinch is one of my favorite Christmas-related characters, so of course, I guess, you know, I really did not know at all what to expect from this EP coming into it, considering that there was a whole lot a whole lot of ways I could see this going, pretty much. But at the end of the day, I have to say I ended up enjoying this EP a fair amount. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think this is one of the best projects released this year. It's not something that I think is super groundbreaking, or it's not going to change your life or anything quite like that. But for a short Christmas Grinch-related EP, it's pretty solid. Throughout this project, the production is very reminiscent of Flower Boy's production, which is a good thing in my opinion, considering I like that album. However, there's also bits and pieces of the production here that feel very inspired by more Christmas themed sounds and music, which is to be expected. So really what you get on this thing is a sort of hybrid between the Flower Boy production sound and, you know, Christmas music, I guess. Really what you might expect. And it works pretty well in my opinion. It feels Christmas-y, but it's not overbearingly Christmassy, I guess you could say. It doesn't need to, you know, beat you over the head with the fact that this is a Christmas-themed track when you're listening to this thing, but it still is very Christmas-like, which is overall a good thing. I do feel that the production on this thing is really what ties this entire EP together, given that, you know, there are some cuts on here that are purely instrumental, and there are some cuts on here where the guest features take up a lot of the track's runtime, and Tyler doesn't really spend a lot of the track rapping himself. But of course, given that he is doing the production here, I feel like the production is really where he shines most here on this project, and it's really what ties the entire EP together overall, I'd say. As for the lyrics and rapping on this project, as far as the lyrics go at least, you're pretty much getting Christmas Grinch themed lyrics here on this EP. Nothing that, once again, is going to change your world view or anything quite like that. Nothing that I feel like is going to be, you know, super deep or relatable to people necessarily. It's a Christmas EP though. I didn't really expect to get any of that here, and I'm guessing that anyone going into this EP isn't going to expect that either. And as far as the Christmas themes lyrics go here on this thing, they're pretty enjoyable in my opinion, and they still manage to be pretty fun, and they still manage to be well written and well executed as well on Tyler the Creator's end. It's not like these are just lazy Christmas lyrics in my opinion. They all manage to sound and play out rather decently. I like the track's Hot Chocolate, which of course is talking about hot chocolate. I mean, it's pretty simple, but you know, we could always use some more songs about hot chocolate in the world, so I'm happy about that. And then you have the track Big Bag, which according to Tyler the Creator on Twitter is supposed to be from the Grinch's perspective of stealing people's presents, and that's a kind of interesting idea, I guess, and it's easily one of my favorite cuts, if not my favorite song on this thing, particularly not just for the kind of interesting idea going on there, but I also really like Tyler the Creator's rapping on this track as well. He just does a pretty good job delivering this, and it's definitely a very interesting take on the Grinch that I do really enjoy. Easily, like I said, one of my favorites, if not my favorite track here on this thing. The features that pop up every so often here on this EP also do a pretty decent job in my opinion. They provide some nice singing here or there, just a nice change of pace as well. It keeps the EP interesting throughout its entire runtime, which is a relatively short runtime. This thing is only around 10 minutes in length. But it's constantly throwing different things at you. You get some great production here. You have some solid rapping. You have some nice singing that comes in as well. It's definitely a pretty interesting EP in that regard. If I do have any complaints for this project, I would say that I wish some of the ideas here on this EP were expanded on a bit more. Like I said, this thing is relatively short at around 10 minutes, but I could easily see some of these tracks being expanded even into, longer songs as well. Some of these tracks are a bit shorter in length, and I feel like some of them could be longer. The fact that some of these tracks are as short as they are, I feel like, is sometimes what holds them back to some extent. Though I wouldn't say that this is a major problem with the EP. It still is a very enjoyable listen from start to finish for, a Christmas EP and all that. And, with that said, I've probably spent way too much time at this point talking about an EP about the Grinch of all things, so I think it's about time I wrap up this review here. But I will say that, if you're a hip-hop fan, if you're a Tyler, the Creator fan, and you're looking for some Christmas-themed music, I think that you will like this project, at least to some extent. Like I said, it's not one of the greatest things released this year. It's not going to change your worldview or anything. It's not redefining Christmas music or anything quite like that, but it's pretty fun for what it is. And considering that I myself am not a big fan of Christmas music, as I said before, the fact that I ended up enjoying this a fair bit, even while listening to it way before I feel like people should even be listening to Christmas music. I mean, it's still November after all. The fact that I still got some enjoyment out of this, a fair amount of enjoyment, I think that shows that this EP definitely has some quality material on it that I think is worth checking out if you're a fan of Tyler, the Creator's music, hip-hop in general, or just Christmas music overall. I think you'll find something to enjoy here on this EP. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. It's a Grinch-themed EP from Tyler, the Creator. Yeah, definitely didn't see that coming, but it's enjoyable, so, I'm not going to complain, I guess. With that said, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this review, I greatly appreciate if you'd leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more music-related content, things like album reviews, countdown lists, track reviews, discussions, all that good stuff. So if you enjoyed that, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below your thoughts on this EP. Thank you for watching, and stay golden.